Griffin's Resorts Hotel here in Atlantic City, just about set to go with our first fight of the evening. Before we do, let's talk about the rules here in Jersey.
Indeed. 3 knockdown rule is in effect here. 3 knockdowns in any round, and the fight is over. Standing 8 count is in effect. Physician can stop the fight. Only a 10-point must scoring system. Only the judges will score. Referee doesn't figure into it. And a fighter cannot be saved by the bell in any round here.
Now let's talk a little bit about Al the Ice Cole. He's 15-0 right now. He's got 8 knockouts, and if you ask him, he's getting better every time out. And the truth of the matter is, anybody who's watched him would be want to argue with that idea. He's undefeated.
Al Cole is a cruiserweight, and that's good, and it's bad. Good because he moves up the ladder quickly, but bad because no cruiserweight champ except Evander Holyfield has ever made much money. But he hopes to change that as he strings together wins. He was too much here for Tommy Richardson, ultimately taking him out in the 5th. But this Olympic alternate is still smoothing out the rough spots. And against Matthew Brooks, he struggled a bit, but then finished him in the 4th round. This 26-year-old wants to shine tonight, get a few more wins, and then go after the cruiserweight crown.
Which brings us to the die-hard keys to victory, Al.
Well, for Al Cole, the jab always an important thing. He's got to double up with that. Slip punch is better. Defense a problem for him. For Leon Taylor, he knows he's got to get inside that jab. Once he's there, stay very busy, throw lots of punches, and keep Al Cole busy on the inside.
So that's the way it sizes up. Taylor and Cole, and let's meet him officially with Michael Buffer. Mike?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome and happy holidays from Merv Griffin's Resorts Casino Hotel on the boardwalk in Atlantic City, New Jersey tonight. Top Rank Incorporated and the undisputed, undefeated king of beers, Budweiser, presents professional boxing for your entertainment. All these bouts are approved by the New Jersey State Athletic Control Board. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's get things started with 10 rounds of boxing in the cruiserweight division. The referee for this first bout is Arthur Mercanti. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the gold trunks with black letters. He comes to us from Brooklyn, New York, and weighs an even 188 pounds. His professional record, 13 victories with 6 KOs, only 2 defeats. Let's welcome Leon "Cat" Taylor. And his opponent, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the black trunks with red letters. He comes to us, he's originally from Spring Valley, New York, but now fighting for Mark Roberts Triple Threat Gym in Newark, New Jersey. His weight, 187 pounds. He's undefeated as a professional with a record of 15-0, 8 KOs. Introducing Alfred "Ice" Cole.
Good evening, gentlemen. You both know the rules of the New Jersey State Athletic Commission. We expect you to obey these rules, and I'll be here to enforce them. Shake hands now. Come out boxing at the bell. Good luck.
A good stare down to start things. Leon Taylor getting a draw there at least.
Maybe an edge.
And Alfred Cole, as we mentioned, the guy is really fighting with a lot of confidence now. He feels he's getting better as a fighter. He's fighting in that cruiserweight division, which, as you pointed out in the highlights, sometimes can be good or can be bad. One thing that is good about it is you're likely to get a title shot a little bit sooner.
Yeah, he feels he can move ahead in a fairly rapid fashion, but he's had some rough spots. It hasn't all been smooth for Al Cole. And you see the knockout ratio, which benefits or goes to the edge goes to Cole.
Leon Taylor has had a 9-year career, but the truth of the matter is he really hasn't fought that much in the last 5 years. He had 1 fight in 1983, 1 fight in 1984, 1 fight in 1985. Then, as he put it kindly, he said, I took a vacation. We didn't ask.
It was a forced vacation, yes, but in any case,
for the devil.
Yeah, he was inactive right through 1990. He's had 3 fights this year. The last, a loss to Ed Mack, and he was pretty honest there. He said, I took Mack cheaply. He said, I was overconfident and I got beat.
He's had 3 weeks in the gym for this fight, so he says, I offer no excuses here.
And what he wants to do is not stay right in front of Al Cole, which is what he's kind of doing right now, but get inside the jab and work him over. So he looked at tapes of Cole and he said, I saw what the opponents were doing, and they were letting him dictate the fight, which right now Leon Taylor is doing also.
And he said very candidly that when we asked him what he saw in the tapes of Al Cole, he said, "I saw an amateur fighter." So now let's see if he can translate that into reality.
You know, that's so fashionable, though, to say that about somebody like Cole, who's an Olympic alternate. And has had some amateurish moves, but, you know, he has improved also, so. A good jab of Cole, and he is doubling up with it. And when he doubles up, you can see that that stops Taylor in his tracks, freezes him.
And we should also point out that the Ed Mack that Leon Taylor lost to in his last fight in Wilmington, Delaware, Al Cole defeated back in January of this year in a 6-round decision.
Cole certainly the member of that triple threat gym that everyone knew would be a little more of a project. Ray Mercer and Charles Murray, the other two members, and they will be knocking on the door of World Championships. Mercer fighting for the WBO version of the heavyweight championship. And Murray certainly moving along, and Al Cole taking a little bit more time, even though he's winning. There's a good right by Taylor.
Definitely got Cole's attention. Cole a little bit wild in this first round. Cole just missing a lot in this opening round. So not a bad round for Leon Taylor. Got there with the left hand again as we come to the end of round 1. 2, Leon Taylor taking the break standing in his own corner. Also stomped his foot at the end of the first round. Felt that, hey, I'm in this thing.
He was fired up. It wasn't a round I gave him, but he did have some good moments in that round. It was a fairly close round. And that is illustrated on our punch profile, which actually they have it even closer than I thought it was. But once in a while, a little friendly disagreement between me and the punch profile is rare. It's healthy. It's okay, but it's healthy.
Taylor's confidence obviously has grown after that first round. Counter right hand.
Well, he knew that he could get in with the right. One thing Leon Taylor is doing, though, that is a no-no, and he didn't want to do it, is standing straight up and right in the punching area for Al Cole. Not getting inside that jab. I really think he wanted to do that.
Nice right hand again by Taylor.
Well, here's what he is doing, though. He is timing the jab of Cole. So part of the reason why he's there is he feels now he can time that jab of Cole and throw the right hand over it.
Well, and again, Al Cole has a tendency sometimes to push that jab and leave it out there. He doesn't snap it all the time. That time he did.
And, of course, that's when he's vulnerable to the overhand right by Leon Taylor. Cole with a heavy burden trying to get the triple threat in their 50th straight win. All three of those fighters are undefeated. They're going for number 50. And right now, Leon Taylor's pretty jacked up about making that not become a reality.
He really is. He's really fighting like a confident fighter. Which is, again, sometimes good news, sometimes bad.
He's showing disdain for Cole's punching power. Of these two boxers, only Cole has been 10 rounds. Taylor has never been. Of course, it's a 10-rounder.
One thing Taylor is not doing, and that is doubling up on his punches.
Now that's where I think Leon Taylor would want to be a little busier instead of Cole being busy. Well, it hasn't been a bad second round again for Taylor. But he's not that busy, Barry. And, you know, you're in there against Al Cole, who's Mr. Olympic alternate, Mr. Triple Threat, Mr. Prospect around here. And I think you better be busy.
Yeah, I think that's the only mistake, the only fault that you could really find with Leon Taylor is so far he's been the harder puncher of the two, but he's really just throwing single punches. So we head for the end of the second round, and once again you have to ask yourself is, did Leon Taylor do enough to win the round?
Get the jab in, but here's a good example of Taylor making him miss, then coming back with his own combination. So very nice illustration of what Taylor knows he can do from the outside.
But Taylor's going to have to stay busy if he wants to win the fight. That's a real factor in this fight. And again, he is a decided underdog in this fight, and so he has to really take the fight to Al Cole if he's going to win a decision. On your card, an even fight, a round apiece.
I give the first round to Cole, the second to Taylor. And I think probably the reason why I was moved to mention that 10-round deal in the second round of the fight, which I normally wouldn't, is because you have to know that Leon Taylor might have to go out and do something dramatic early because he hasn't gone 10 rounds in a long time.
Actually has stayed pretty busy since coming back to full-time activity. He has a right hand by Cole, and that caused Taylor to back up.
If Taylor keeps backing up, Cole will just dominate this fight. You have to back Al Cole up to win against him. It's that simple.
Now, Taylor just threw a jab, and it wasn't a half-bad jab, but he's just simply not working it enough. Now, again, this is a 10-round fight. He hasn't gone 10 rounds. There could be something with pacing himself also.
Yeah, he may be thinking about that because he even talked about the long inactivity and coming back and having a couple 6-rounders and then one that went 2, so he might not feel ready to go 10. Cole jab starting to assert itself now. Taylor's hands are really low. Unless this is a ploy, he's got a problem.
Well, he's had him down there a good part of this fight, though.
So it could be a lengthy ploy.
That's right.
But I doubt it.
Left hand again. Counter left that time by Taylor.
You know, Leon Taylor found a home for the jab and then the overhead right and hasn't used it. Landing percentage with that jab has to be extraordinary.
Long right hand, but Taylor was going backwards with the punch. Taylor just looking to counter here.
Cole going to the left hook there from Richard, though, and while it's not known as his best punch, we have seen him take fighters out with the left hook, so you might want to go to that punch more often.
Again, you could see Taylor just look to load up with the right-hand counter punch.
Leon Taylor's not throwing double jab yet in the spot. Always one at a time.
Taking to the corner of Al Cole. Competitive fight so far.
Now, you're circling a man. You're circling like a train fighter. Cut the ring off on him. Cut the ring off. Understand? Step to your right a little more. Go straight in. Don't circle him. Don't step around him. You step around him.
The voice of Hank Johnson,
the
wise voice.
You step to your right. Fire the right hand. Right hand, left hook. Don't just fire one.
He's tiring now. He's tiring.
He's getting tired. On the inside, rough him up. Make him work.
Never mind that left hand down by your knee.
What's wrong with you? On the inside, rough him up. Make him work. All right?
Better, Brown?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. He's got to stay on his there.
You got to keep that pressure.
In the last round, you see Cole missing a lot. He won the round and did well enough, but not able to land like he wants to against Leon Taylor. And you see so many misses there. That left hook getting in just a little bit, but an indication that Al Cole is not getting in those punches as he would like.
Cole's staying a lot busier in general.
Yeah, 21% though landed in round 3.
So he threw 100 punches, landed only 21. Taylor only threw 42. And here are the totals for the fight so far.
Boy, that is close for the number landed. Because you know if a guy throws 257 punches, everybody might not be as discerning as our punch profile is, and they might think that more landed than
exactly. It's bad enough, but Taylor is strictly an underdog in this fight, and he's going to have to do more to impress the judges.
So that poor percentage that Cole is landing will be a concern to them, though, no matter what the outcome of this fight.
Interesting story with Leon Taylor that he has a loss on his record to a fighter by the name of Elvis Parks, who he says, I never fought the guy.
Doesn't know, never even saw him fight. He's asking me what Elvis Parks looked like, and the reason I was curious about it is Elvis Parks is very similar to to Al Cole in both his build and his style, and I said I was thinking that might be a clue as to Leon Taylor. He said, no, I never fought him. I'm sure in the back of their mind they were saying Taylor was tiring. They know he hasn't gone a long way in recent fights, and
they may be a little bit right in that. Also, you can see him breathing through his mouth a little bit. He doesn't really look too tired right now, but this is only the 4th round.
He has slowed down some, there's no question.
Oh, he opened up there.
And that was what he needs to do, Barry. When Taylor is busy on the inside, working the body, which he has completely ignored, and when people have been successful against Cole, it's because they've gone down to the body. There, 2 good body shots by Taylor.
Stop holding now. Let's go.
He's been content to just give this round to Cole, really.
Stop holding. Let's go.
There's Cole finally working the body, which he has been loath to do.
Nice body shot there by Taylor. That was a low blow. Taylor will have as much time as he needs here.
But can't be giving Cole a warning. Then Taylor says, come on, it's okay.
And there's only 8 seconds left in this round. And Taylor bounced off the ropes and got there with the right hand and did throw a left behind it at the bell. So again, a competitive fight between these two, but Taylor's still going to have to do a little bit more if he's going to have any chance to win it. We'll be back.
This is the punch that strayed a little bit low, and yeah, I would say it did. He landed a good shot before that, and that definitely was a low blow.
So Leon Taylor thinking, I'm in this fight. Now Cole thinking, I'm in a fight. Round 5.
Well, you know, the story here is Taylor's lack of number of punches and Cole's lack of accuracy. And when you put those two together, it makes it a closer fight than one might expect.
Low percentage on the jab of Al Cole.
And you know what's interesting about that? Cole will go through a period where you can see he's landing a bunch. So that shows you then he's missing a lot. It's almost deceiving because he looks like he's landing some of those jabs and then some aren't getting them.
Right hand, good right hand by Taylor, and another. Taylor opens up. Boy, Taylor sure leaves himself open when he throws that punch, too.
Every time the jab lays out there, Taylor gets there with the overhand right.
On your card, an even fight.
Well, not exactly. No, because I had that should be a 1-point edge for Al Cole because I had 2 rounds for Cole, 1 for Taylor and 1 even. So actually a 1-point edge for Cole. Tell you, I think Leon Taylor should go for broke right now. He's shown he can land those overhand rights. He is not going to go 10 rounds, I don't think, if he's strong at the end. I just can't imagine it. Maybe he can, but after having only gone 6, coming back after a 4-year layoff, no. And if I was him, I would throw double jabs, overhand rights, and just go for it. And see if I could take Al Cole out of it.
He is just looking to make Al Cole miss, leave it out there, and come up over the top. And he's done it with some success.
Just not a lot. Not enough. See, he's got the blueprint to victory. You know, he can get that jab in, Leon Taylor. If he would just double with it and follow with the overhand right. And just one time, say to yourself mentally, this is what I'm going to do, and do it. Now, there's a strong jab. No?
Good jab. And he's got a little swelling around both eyes of Al Cole, too.
And for Al Cole, he has got to double with the jab. That prevents that right hand from coming from Leon Taylor.
And as much as Taylor was breathing through his mouth, so is Al Cole. He has been most of the fight. So there might be a little fatigue factor on both parts here.
That's true. And now Taylor going to the body a little bit, making Cole miss. So we say not enough, but maybe enough.
hit Cole anytime he wants to.
I think he can get that overhand right in when he throws it. There's the wildness of Al Cole that they would like to get away from.
Not a bad round for Leon Taylor.
Bucket, go to bucket right there. Beautiful, Leon, beautiful. You got to go now, baby. You got to go. All right.
That's a long road stretch.
They're going 10, and Leon Taylor doing a pretty good job against Al Cole.
And you know what I keep saying, boy, I don't know if Leon Taylor can do it over 10 or whatever. Hey, you know what I'm saying? That he's doing it right now. He's still doing fine.
You know what Al Cole might have done here is picked a card that feels that this could be the last hurrah. Leon Taylor had a lot of time to sit around and think about what his career might be like, and he knows he took the last fight, which he lost too lightly. He was serious, he said, about this one, and if he loses, he's got no excuses, and so far he's got a real chance to win it.
Stop holding and break.
Cole just glancing with that right hand. Missing and missing and missing and missing. I mean, he is really inaccurate with his punches tonight. I'm sure that's, you know, it's great concern to them, because he's a young man who works hard at this. He's a guy who works at boxing. And I'm sure that to be in a fight like this and not be able to land is frustrating and disappointing for him.
And again, Taylor just looking to counter.
Leon Taylor not throwing many punches, though.
He left himself there long enough for Cole to finally hit him.
He's got a minute left in this round. Now, in my opinion, with all the punches Cole threw, even though a lot didn't land, Leon Taylor better make something happen to win this round.
He's starting to lay on the ropes a little bit. When he does, he's starting to take a few shots from Cole.
And switches to southpaw, does Leon Taylor. Let's see if this has any impact on Cole. Cole's had trouble with lefties. We've seen that before.
These are cruiserweights, 10 rounds. Al Cole and Leon Taylor. Taylor supposed to be a trial horse for Cole, but he's getting the upshot, everything he's wanted. Sixth round of a 10-rounder. You still have the feeling, though, that Leon Taylor at some point is going to really have to start to fight. Because it is still a close fight.
He gave this round away.
End of 6. We'll be back. Leon Taylor doing a lot of posturing between rounds and kind of staring down Al Cole, but if you really are a believer in body language, his body language in the corner showed that this might be a fighter who is getting a little bit tired.
Once you're on his ass and close, understand? Don't follow him around. Put the ring on. Take him to the rope. Inside, you rough him up. Don't let him tie you up. Don't let him tell you follow his down and tie you up. He's trying to rest.
That's Hank Johnson, and that was in the corner of Al Cole between rounds. Leon Taylor drawing a warning.
Now there, Taylor moved to his right and was in a perfect position to throw that right hand. Didn't. Made Cole miss, but didn't make him pay. That's a very close fight, and I thought Taylor gave away that last round to Cole, but it's still, you know, within the grasp of either man to win this bout. And this is a round that Leon Taylor hasn't seen in a long time, since 1984. February of 1984, when he won an 8-round decision over Larry Lane in Atlantic City.
And Leon Taylor doing a little bit too much posturing and not enough throwing the punches. I mean, he's taunting Al Cole, and maybe it's true enough that Al Cole has had all kinds of trouble hitting him, but part of the game is not only not to be hit, but to hit.
Al Cole is missing. I mean, he is missing a lot. When we take a look at the number of punches he's thrown and missed in this bout, it's going to be staggering. They keep yelling at Al Cole to go to the body, and he just isn't doing it. Hank Johnson said it to him, and he's just not doing it. He was the mouthpiece of Leon Taylor.
I'm going to take this is yours, right? Yeah. Come here with me.
I think again, they have to put the mouthpiece in, and Leon Taylor says, nah, I don't need it.
That's a tough guy.
I bought the mouthpiece.
Let's go.
And Al Cole tries to jump on it. Taylor covers up.
Al Cole has been short with that right hand all night. Just missing with the right hand. Good hook by Cole after a right hand by Taylor.
Yeah, that time it was Cole countering Taylor, and he got there with the right hand also.
Excellent hook by Taylor, however. Now, he has got Cole hurt. I'll tell you right now, Cole is stunned. If Taylor can get out of this mess and land something big, he could be in business here. I don't know if he knows that. I think he does. That only gives Cole more time.
Cole right now looking like a tired fighter.
Boy, now here's a round. Here's a tough one. Here's a round in which Al Cole missed a billion punches, landed a lot, threw some, threw a lot. Taylor rips him and hurts him. But who do you score it for?
Yeah, very tough to score, as a lot of these rounds have been. You figure it out.
There with a big right hand against Al Cole. The left hand very low of Cole, and Taylor gets there with the overhand right. A big weapon for Leon Taylor, just not used that much.
Hey, man.
So even though Leon Taylor is doing all the right things in terms of making Al Cole miss, he's just not doing enough in terms of fighting Al Cole.
Offensively, not throwing that many punches. Fairly close round again last round, but people are going to have a hard time giving too many of these rounds to Leon Taylor because he is just so passive offensively.
Through 7 rounds, and this will tell you the story.
An edge to Cole, but look at the percentage Al Cole has missed. But now there Leon Taylor using his power.
Right hand by Taylor. Now he's throwing in a combination.
And he is doing what he should have done, I think, 4 rounds ago. Go after Al Cole. You've got to back Al Cole up if you're going to be here.
Through the first 7 rounds on your card, you have Al Cole.
No way. No,
we'll check the
we have to check that math out. I think so. Maybe I'm scoring this fight, and I'm not knowing I'm scoring it.
Al's got the old abacus on.
I got my, as usual, everyone that watches this show knows my math is bizarre, so I'm just checking.
Cole did get there with an uppercut. Or what the number said.
We make it a 2-point, I believe. Wait, we have to check this again. We're still checking, ladies and gentlemen. But bear with us.
Cole continues to paw, but Taylor just doesn't fight it. And in the end, that could cost Leon Taylor. Boy, Cole looks tired.
And his punches get even more inaccurate as he continues to.
But as tired as he looks, Taylor refuses to make him pay. Cole finally says, come on, stand there.
Yeah, he is not cutting off the ring on Taylor, so getting tired from chasing him around. Taylor's switching to lefty. He hasn't done that to much effect. There's a good left hand.
Very good left hand. But even the little that he's doing is more than the guy he's fighting is doing, if you understood that. What do you got?
Well, if you want a clue as to how Leon Taylor might really get back into this fight, from the left-handed stance, boom, a left hand that lands. He might do well to fight a little more as a lefty.
You know, the problem is that could have just as well been a still picture rather than a videotape because he's just throwing one at a time.
Very good point. There's the jab by Taylor. It's there. Leon Taylor is 12-6. He's had a layoff. He wants to get back into the boxing picture. This is his time. And there you see the last round, how even though he threw some fewer than Cole, he landed more. Cole is just, his inaccuracy is staggering tonight.
And now Taylor's trying to stay busy.
And when he's hitting Cole, he's making an impact. He could still pull his fight out.
I don't think there's any question about it. I think Cole is clearly the more tired of the two. But the problem is, even though Al Cole is not a champion, he is the favorite in the fight, and you got to go out there and beat the favorite. You can't just sit back and wait for the favorite to lose.
Believe it or not, folks, we have my scoring right now, 78-76. Al Cole leading by 2 points still, despite the fact those rounds are so close.
Amazing because when we started to figure it out, it was 46-42.
Well, it's not the first time I had this problem. We've got to coordinate it, though. Now, there he is from the left-handed stance, and if he would be busy, there's the left landing. So there is, for Leon Taylor, a place where he can really land some power shots. There again, every time he throws that straight left from a lefty stance, remember I told you Cole had trouble with southpaws before. This is going to be a wild fight to score, ultimately, because Cole's been so inaccurate and Taylor has been so sparse in his punches.
Yeah, one's been inaccurate and one's been inactive.
And why the heck would Taylor go back to the right-handed stance? I mean, if I was him, I'd stay in the lefty stance, and I would be ripping those straight left hands and going after Al Cole. It's easy to stay outside the ring. And now, meanwhile, the glove is ripped of, or the tape is ripped of Al Cole. I'm surprised Arthur McCanty's not stopping the action.
A right hand by Taylor. Taylor's fighting a little bit more in this round.
And landing.
Yeah, this is not a bad round for Taylor.
Not bad at all. He's right in this bout. He is right in this bout. As a lefty, that's the key for Taylor.
So 1 round of boxing left, and the fight can still be there for the taking. We'll be back.
Taylor, as a southpaw, watch what happens. There it is. There's the punch that can win him this fight. He did it early, and there's a good uppercut. He did it early in the bout, didn't return to it, has come back to it now. Leon Taylor should fight this last few minutes as a lefty exclusively and load up with those straight left hands. That's my opinion. One man's opinion.
Come to the final round, and I just have an idea we're going to see some wildly diverse scoring in this fight.
Oh, yeah. But the reason I'm not a trainer is obvious because Leon Taylor comes out as a righty.
Let's take a look at the punch profile, total numbers, and it's just incredible. Al Cole has thrown almost twice as many punches and has landed 11 punches less.
And now, when you look at that, though, you say, okay, does that mean that Taylor is the winner in this fight? Not necessarily, because it depends on where those punches were grouped in what rounds. And if you could group them so that you win more rounds, you can end up winning this fight. And it is very close.
Taylor talking to Al Cole now, and I would think Leon would be well advised to fight him.
Got to go after it. Got to go after it. If you throw half the number of punches your opponent, you have to know you got to go after it. And there, nice combination by Taylor. A good right by Taylor.
On your card, it's a 1-point fight.
Cole still just ahead by a smidge. And one of the rounds in this fight I made even. So if you put that one in either column, it could make a substantial difference in such a close fight. See now, almost all those missing. Taylor gets here with a right hand. Good body shot. Taylor is a lefty. Look at him. He can do what he wants as a southpaw. Do what he wants as a southpaw. should have been in that stance for 4 straight rounds. As a lefty, he can do anything he wants with Al Cole.
Don't hit on the break. Step back.
Cole landing out fairly effectively on the inside. Both tired, you can see, holding on. Good body shot there by Taylor.
It was, and I think that
had an impact. Yes, the right to the body had an impact on Cole also.
I think Cole is a hurting puppy right now if Taylor, again, chooses to jump on it.
If he can.
Well, that's true.
Yeah. And this round will give the same problems to the judges as every round has. Even though Taylor's been a little busier, it's been a very close round. Look as a lefty. I keep saying this, and I know it must be frustrating for you to hear it as it is for me to say it. Every time he turns to the lefty stance, he lands the straight left hand and lands it big. Leon Taylor, that is. And yet he turns back to righty. Hard for me to figure. Even though he's doing okay as a righty.
Well, it's been an entertaining first fight of the evening.
And we'll raise some questions about Al Cole, to be sure.
Without question.
There it is. As a lefty, again lands a straight right and switches right back to righty. Leon Taylor strategically threw this fight away by not fighting as a lefty, but he may still have won it.
In the hands of the judges, and this should be interesting. Crowd appreciates it.
And you know what I want to... There's Al Cole, who... You see the bruises under both eyes. A frustrating evening for him. His accuracy was just atrocious. And he took some shots that I know he didn't want to take. There you see Leon Taylor coming over. Good sport that he is.
Now, win or lose, I would have to think there's going to be a back-to-the-drawing board fight for Al Cole.
It's a serious setback for Al Cole because of the way the fight went and his performance, which was, was not what he wanted. Well, there's the edge to Taylor. 23% landed for Al Cole. Obviously, that's atrocious. Taylor ends up with a very good percentage landed, but did the judges see as many of those punches not landing, let's say, as Punch Profile did? If they didn't, then Al Cole could end up being a winner. I scored the fight dead even. I thought it was a draw. And this man, there's my scoring. This man, Leon Taylor, as you look at him, I have to say one thing. I kept saying, gee, I don't know if he could be strong in the last couple of rounds. Excuse me, I stand corrected. He was very strong in the last several rounds.
No question about it. All right, let's find out now. Here's Michael Buffer to tell us.
Ladies and gentlemen, from Merv Griffin's Resorts Casino Hotel in Atlantic City, we go to the scorecards. We have a split decision. Eva Shane scores the bout 97-93. She has it for Cole. Richard Strange scores the bout 96-94 for Taylor. And Tommy Kazmarek scores the bout 96-94 for the winner by split decision, Leon Taylor.
Big upset, yes.
Very big upset and a big win for Leon Taylor.
And you can't say, it was a very close fight. You cannot say he didn't deserve it. He was very accurate in his punching.
Absolutely. So Leon Taylor scores what has to be considered a huge upset. Back to talk with
his first defeat as a pro in what was a very close fight. I personally had it scored exactly a draw. First of all, what did you think of the decision?
Well, I leave that up to the judges, and that was my fault. I did leave it up to the judges, so I'm just leave it at that.
Why do you think this was probably your most inaccurate night of punching as a pro? Why do you feel you were so inaccurate? Was it anything he did?
No, I just didn't get off. I just couldn't get off. He ain't taking that from me. He's a good fighter. He beat me, they say. So I just didn't execute my punches. I didn't really execute. That's what it was. He just fired a little bit more shots to seem a bit more accurate, but I was just trying to stay busy and hit him more, and he just hit me a little bit harder shots, but it wasn't really effective. It was just that his shot punches was crisper.
Is it back to the drawing board for you now, Al?
Definitely. I just leave that up to my coaches and manager to see what they say.
All right, congratulations on a good effort in any case. Al Cole, we are going to get Leon, can you come in here? We're going to get Leon Taylor in here, who scored a big upset victory and did so by throwing nearly half as many, or the half of the punches, actually. Leon, come on here. That Al Cole did, but was so accurate with his punches. Leon, I kept saying in this bout, and I was wrong, that because you hadn't gone 10 rounds, it might be tough for you in the later rounds. It was not tough. That was where you won this fight.
Yeah, I did. I get strong in the later rounds. I guess I was more hungry than Al. Al took me very lightly, I think. They took me very lightly because I just lost my recent fight before that, and he beat the guy. And I told you I had something in store for him. See, he can't hit nobody that's standing in front.
You did. I got one very important question. I want to know why you didn't fight more as a lefty. You were so effective as a lefty, and you kept going back to righty. I thought you had that fight won if you stay as a lefty.
No, I'm not a left-hand fighter. I just did that just to play with his head.
Well, you landed every time he went lefty.
Yeah. I'll take a good punch because I hit him with some good shots.
Well, you did indeed.
And he's going to be around for a while. He's a strong kid, and he punched real good.
All right, for you, Leon, this is a big win because it gets you back into the picture.
Yes.
The only thing maybe anyone would criticize is the fact that you were pretty economical with your punches, and under other circumstances, one judge didn't give you the decision. Do you intend to be a little busier in future fights?
I got to. Yeah. That's what my corner was telling me to do. I felt I was going to let him punch himself out. That's what I was trying to do. But I definitely got to throw more punches. If I want to be champ, I got to throw more punches. I got the defense. My defense is there. I know how to move my head, you know, and I could survive. He didn't hurt me one time. He hit me with some good shots, but he didn't hurt me. I had him hurt a couple of times, but he's a strong kid. He's real strong.
Are we going to see Leon Taylor fighting for a cruiserweight championship someday? Yes. Can you still get there?
Yes. I got the eye of the tiger, like I told you earlier. I got the eye of the tiger.
Congratulations. Good win for you, Leon.
Thank you.
Leon Taylor with a huge win for him. A career win because it puts him back into the hunt in the cruiserweight division. No, he's not a top 10 fighter yet, but surely he hopes he will be one day. And this
Resorts International here in Atlantic City, New Jersey.